when you watch the film of the Ravens game. How do you guys feel you did against Lamar and containing him in particular?
I think we did a pretty good job. He only had one scramble for I think 30 yards, which was a big play, and I think we definitely could have done better. But yeah, overall, I think our plan was sound. Um, uh, just a few things when you focus so much on the mobile quarterback, you kind of give up some focus in other places, and he was able to find some guys open on those scrambles. So we just need to, obviously we're not going to face a guy like him for a little bit, but when we do again, we have to hone in on everything.
Nick, the fact that there were times where he was like, he had time and he had space, to run. And I think it was like, why is he not running? But then, he would throw. Is that something you'd seen before, that he is a lot more patient, and even with open field, he doesn't necessarily just take off?
Yeah, I think we had guys for him on the back end when they were chipping, and like those were the guys that our back end was covering, so they were there in the run game if they were staying in protection. So that happened a few times, but he definitely wasn't sitting in the pocket very long. He was kind of getting out and then looking downfield. But yeah.
Obviously, you probably know a lot about Sebastian Joseph Day. Probably seen a few of his games. What can he bring to the table for this defense?
Seems like an explosive player. I remember when we played him with the Rams, Kyle would mention him in his team meeting. So if you're getting mentioned on the D-line, that's a pretty good compliment, especially when Aaron Donald's out there. So yeah, we're excited. Hopefully he could pick up on the scheme quick and get contributing.
Do you think his skills?
Is this the kind of scheme that can be picked up on quickly? I mean, some schemes are more difficult and more complex than others.
It is tough for interior guys to get the nuances of it down, but I think he's got what it takes physically, and Tap and Chris will get him right.
What do you remember about the 9-0 game in 2019 in the rain?
Yeah, it was fun. The slide game. Hopefully it's not like that this time.
Nick, how have the 2 months played out with Chase Young being here? Like, what have you seen from him in terms of how he's progressed on the field and just mentally off the field, kind of get recharged?
I feel like he's done an amazing job. I think he's gotten better each week, and he continues to get better, and this week is a huge one for him. He's already pretty hyped up about it and excited, so we're going to try and play our best game for him.
I think missed tackles are up this year for you guys. Has that been a topic of discussion, and what's your explanation for why the numbers are higher in that regard?
They were up. I think we did a good job last week. But yeah, it was a topic after the Cardinals game for sure. Some bad tracking. But I think you can't obsess over that stuff. We know how to tackle. It's just trusting the guys around you, because if you're taking your right angle and you're not trying to do too much, then you should send it right into a clean tackle. If you're trying to do something outside of your job, that's when multiple guys miss and it looks bad.
Nick, after the kind of game you guys had Monday, is it easier or more difficult to bounce back and just refocus on the next game?
I think it stinks. I mean, we were so hyped up and excited for an opportunity to show the world how good we are. But I think Kyle did a really good job in the team meeting today of putting it to bed, and we're moving on. I think when you look at it, there's a lot of silver linings. And with a team like this, how we've bounced back before and how mature of a group we are, I think it could be a benefit for us down the road here.
What's a silver lining?
Just the way the game panned out and what we were able to do on defense in the red zone, and I mean, the fact that we were in a tight ball game at halftime says a lot as well. And then some of the stuff at the end, even in the goal line stands that we had, just guys not giving up.
I think a lot of people say it's been said, oh, that was a wake-up call for the Niners, and the implication is like, well, you're just on cruise control and needed a wake-up call. I mean, is there anything? Do you see any merit to that at all?
No, I don't. I don't think we needed a wake-up call, but I think you learn from all the experiences you have, and I think it just emphasizes the fact that we need to stay in the moment and not look at the 1 seed or look at we need to win this many games to get this and that, and that'll set us up better for this. Things could go south really fast in the NFL, and they could look a lot better week in and week out. That's why the talking heads have their jobs, because they talk about different over-exaggerations every week. But we just need to stay focused on each game, and Washington is the next game. We're not taking them lightly. People might think we should beat them, but it's the NFL and they're going to bring it. I guarantee they're rallying behind their new quarterback. So we just have to stay in the moment, which is hard this time of year because it's just such a long year, but we got to stay in the moment.
Do you pay attention to any of that at all? The talking head portion of it, or even for your own amusement?
I don't watch TV, so no.
All right, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank